to what we did last time.
I have a question about the automated emails and setting them up, like figuring out what your strategy or purpose or the system, because you don't want to jump straight in on the first one with a sales one. So how do you kind of figure out what to put into them, and how often do you send them out so that they don't, I know that, for example, I've signed up to some American sites and I end up getting emailed every single day, and it just drives me insane. And it's just constantly feeling bombarded. And there's no way I want to do that to my clients. So what are your suggestions for setting up, a series of automated emails, and how far apart to put them?
Yeah, so we did talk about this last time. If you haven't watched that video, go back and have a look. Are you talking specifically about a list that you kind of have already that you've not emailed yet and what to do for that first time? Or are you talking about somebody who joins your list for the first time as a new person?
When someone joins as a new person, and you suggested setting up a series of emails to sort of welcome them in, what to put into those emails. Like I get them all the time, and different people do it differently. One of them I did sign up for, which I thought she did really well. On her first email, she actually told what she was going to be doing. That, she said, for the next 3 days, you'll receive an email from me, and then I won't contact you, I won't be for another couple of weeks, and I'll, and she just kind of explained what you were going to get from her. And I thought that was quite good, because it kind of set you up to know that you weren't just going to get spammed continuously. And she sort of gave you an insight as to what the content of her emails was going to be. And I thought that was the best one I've ever had.
Awesome. And good on you. This is the homework as well, right? Of being observant and watching from a strategic point of view of what are people doing and what is it that you like. So now you know that you do really like that, and you can take that and use it as well. So yeah, I mean, people do it differently. If you want to send out 3 emails, if you want to send out 5 emails, the basic goal, and we will give you some templates for this as we get up to that part of the process, is that you are sending them their freebie. Then the next day you're sending it to them again in case they got busy and they missed it. And then you want to introduce yourself. You want to talk a little bit about what you do, bring in that social proof, help them understand the offer that you have and the problem that you can solve. And then you want to make an offer for the next step. So whether you do that in 3 emails, whether you do that in 5 emails, either way. So yeah, we all feel, we're getting bombarded, but it's only actually a couple of emails. It's not like you're doing that from now until forever. It's just right then, while it's front of mind, they want to solve this problem. They want to get all the information. So you're just making the most of that moment of attention that they have.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Oh, Desiree, I hope you feel better soon, love. Okay, so Julie's just asking there, how do people physically file their client info? If you're talking about paper files, personally, I do it by first name. Maybe you guys want to weigh up in the chat what anybody else does there. Cool. All right, so let's move on. Justine has got some really cool little app program that's being developed for you guys. So I'll pass the floor over to her to have a chat about that.
What it actually was, and some of you guys probably know that I've been making lots and lots of apps. So I've been making apps for the HNZ students, apps for my websites, because it's heaps of fun. And I was getting my brother in on it because I had an idea that with these apps that I was making, that if you could get your brand and your business onto someone's homepage of their cell phone with free recordings on it, then every time they look at their phone, you're like there. And what's the one thing people look at the most is their phone. So I was saying to my brother, how can we get people's businesses onto their phones in an app? And so we've got this app where basically you have a QR code and it goes on your car or your website or anything, or you can give a link for someone to get free recordings. And once they open that link, it goes onto their phone as a little app. And so every time they want to listen to the free recordings, they go into your app, which then has your what hypnosis is, what you offer, and contact me for an appointment. So it's basically full on branding every day, every time they listen to this app. So I got Tristan to chuck it together. And then I got him to do a price if anyone wants them for just setting one up so that you have it without having to pay continuously and stuff, which is what I think he's going to do in the way he sells the app. So I said, can you just do a quick price just to chuck them together for people? So I'll play the little video, what it is. It was my baby. This was my inspiration. I'm taking credit, but Tristan put it together. But if you do want one, I'll send you a link. It's really cool. So Vicky's going to play the video because my internet's not very good right now.
Hello everyone, Tristan here. So the goal of this video is to show you how we can help you to gain and retain clients by offering your own mobile app. Now, I understand that you've been looking at lead capture pages. Well, I'm going to show you how you can get your own business mobile app that you can use as an incentive or a lead magnet, which will be valuable for your client, but also an awesome sales boosting tool for you. Now, it's clear that customers' time is valuable and their attention span is short. Therefore, we make it easy to get your app on their phone with just a quick scan of a QR code. You know, those little black and white boxes with lines in it. So you could have this QR code on your lead capture page or your office door, your website. You can even have it on your car. You know, they can print these things on the door. Let's take a quick look at some of the features. Here is an example of the hypnotherapy app. Of course, it will be customized to look like your business. Now, it looks wonderful on iPhones or Android devices. What we're going to do now is briefly look through some of the features that really engage and retain clients. So let's get started with that. If you look at the top left menu here, you have a range of pages. It looks just like you'd expect from a website. But our focus is to have it on their phone and to always direct them to a call to action. So a call to action meaning to get them to book a free consultation, for example, or to book a consultation. And we do that also by directing them to free recordings and things that interest them, motivate them, and engage them. Let's take a look at the second item we have here, which is called What is Hypnosis? That will direct them to a page about hypnosis, but not only that, it also directs them to a call to action. And that is one called Try Hypnosis. The Try Hypnosis page is the one with free recordings that we have that they can listen to in their own time. So in this case, we have sleep recordings or weight recordings. These will be recordings that you'll provide us, that your client or future client may have an interest in listening to. Basically, they'll click on to listen and the audio file will be available for them to listen to. You can also add videos too. If you have a Facebook page, we can direct them straight to your Facebook timeline and they can get all the latest information directly from your app. We have an about page here, which once again at the bottom has a call to action. In this case, it is to book a free consultation. They fill out the details, click send, and that will go directly to your mailbox. So as you can see, this app is created in such a way that it engages your client through the recordings, the free recordings, and ultimately to a consultation, whether it's free or a normal paid consultation. Hello everyone, Tristan here.
Pretty cool, eh?
Yeah.
Awesome. So yeah, put those together. He's charging $99, a one-off fee, and so for that he will actually set the whole thing up for you, putting your branding on it, your colors, your recordings. So it's pretty much just covering his time. And then yeah, so if you are keen on getting one, the other thing is it's not just a QR code. You also get, for my clients, we can talk about this later because he will make other apps, but I actually give if I do a weight loss program, I actually now give my weight loss recordings to my clients in an app instead of sending them audios. And with that, I actually just send the link. So the QR code goes to a link, which then goes. So you've got a link that you can send as well. That's something different again. But this one here, I just asked if he'd quickly throw a a lead magnet type one together. But definitely on putting it on the side of your car, so people can go up and scan, the QR code, and will instantly put your app and your recordings onto their phone, which is like the one thing that we all look at first thing in the morning and the last thing at night. So I thought that was quite cool. So I'll just put the link on the side, and then that's me over and out.
So Justine, can they change things themselves in the app?
Oh yeah, so once you so Tristan will set it up for you, and then you get the back end, which means you can upload your own recordings and change things around yourself. All that information is, if you click to get one, it's got everything that Tristan will do for you, and then what you have, it's all kind of in the message. But yeah, you get the back end to be able to change things like maybe putting your prices in there and things like that, and the about hypnosis. So all of that information is your own. He'll set it up for you, and then you can go on and change it yourself. You'll get a password and things.
Awesome. That sounds amazing. And it's a perfect segue into what we're talking about today, which is starting to build our email list. I spelled like myself. There we go. So, okay, we've been through that. We are starting to collect up emails, right? We've probably already got a list, even if it's simply just past inquiries, past clients, and that kind of thing. So hopefully now you have set a bit of a plan for how often you're going to email people in your regular, touching base emails, which are called broadcast emails. Today, we're going to start talking about building your list, which is where we start to introduce new people and get their interest into joining our list, joining our world, starting to get to know, like, and trust us. So back in the old days, we could say to people, hey, give me your email and I'll send you a newsletter. And people would be like, yay, a newsletter, my favorite. Not anymore, right? How many times are we talking about being bombarded by people, having our inbox full with rubbish? So what we need to do, the mindset we need to take on board, is that we're out there offering incredible value. Okay, we want to make it a no-brainer for someone to give us their email address. We want to make sure that they are really excited to hear from us when we do contact them. So the way that we do that, excuse me, is forget about the newsletter thing. Yes, we are going to send them our broadcast emails or our newsletters, but people just aren't going to sign up for that these days, generally speaking. Okay, so what we want to do is offer them a gift, tapping into that law of reciprocity. There we go. So when we offer something, people are more likely to give us something in return. Okay, so we are offering them something of great value that's going to help them to solve a problem. In return, they're going to be happy to give us their email address. Okay, so the question is, what is this thing of amazing value that we're going to offer? So let's find out. I'd like you all now to just take a little moment. Maybe you want to grab a pen and a piece of paper so you can take some notes. We're going to do a little visualization. So we're going to visualize what your funnel might look like. So the end of your funnel, of course, is going to be your paid package. But we're going to just discover the steps that someone might take to get to that paid package, right? And so the part of the funnel we're particularly interested in for the session today is looking at what your amazing piece of value is, otherwise called a freebie or a lead magnet. So for this, the idea that we have is, yes, you may have, for example, a free recording, but we want something that is incredible value, that somebody is going to be a no-brainer for them to sign up for it, something that they are going to recognize as a no-brainer. So your lead magnet is something that solves one small bite-sized problem. It can come in many different forms. This app that Tristan and Justine have put together is an amazing example. It could also be an ebook, a mini course, series. It could be a checklist. It could be basically any digital product that you can automate. Okay, because it's a numbers game. Remember, we talked in the past about conversions, and in digital marketing, and a good conversion rate is about 3%. Okay, so with that in mind, if you're offering something that you have to manually do, let's say you're a designer and you're offering a website analysis, if you have to actually sit there and spend an hour looking through somebody's website and writing a report, that's a whole lot of work. You'd have to do 100 of those to get 3 customers. Okay, so we want to be able to offer something that we can automate, right? So something we can create once and keep sending out again and again and again and again. Okay. So when you're ready, just take a deep breath and allow your eyes to close. Just letting go of any of the energy of what you've been out there doing today, what you were doing this morning, what you had for breakfast, everything else you've been thinking about. Bringing all of your energy and attention into the here and now. Allowing yourself to become focused. And using that power of your imagination, I'd like you to just picture your perfect ideal customer or client there in front of you. What do they look like? What are they struggling with? Making that picture light and bright and strong, getting a really good sense of that person. See them in as much detail as you can. And if you're new to business, that's cool. You can just imagine somebody that you would love to work with. So noticing that person now, they've been through your paid offer. Notice how happy they are about the work that you did together. Allow yourself to see their sense of accomplishment and the results that they achieved. The joy they have as a result of what they've done with your business, with you. Noticing perhaps some of the specific results or outcomes that are a result of working with you. Noticing the problems that have been solved, the specific outcomes that have changed them as a result of what you offer. If you like, you can make a few notes. Focusing on that end result. Just notice that from that place, you can see a path stretching from that end result right over to the very beginning, from when they first found out about you and your business. Along that path, you may see some stepping stones. So walk back along that path to the next stepping stone. Walking back towards the beginning, but the stepping stone just before that end result. What do you notice about that part of the path, about that stepping stone? So what was it that you did to help them achieve this result? Making any notes? And when you're ready, we're going to continue to the next stepping stone, which is the step they took to decide to be ready to spend their money to invest in your product, in your offer, in your service. So when you're ready, walking back along that path and stepping onto that stepping stone of saying yes, be there now. What was it that encouraged them to know this is the right moment? I'm ready to say yes to this offer. What are the aspects, features, the feelings? And getting ready to walk back along the path to the next stepping stone. So noticing the offer, noticing what has allowed them to help them to say yes to that offer. What's the first step that they would need to take in order to be ready to do that offer, to know that this is what they need? What is that first one small problem that they need to solve in order to be ready to say yes to that offer? So stepping onto that stepping stone now. What is that one first small step? That one small bite-sized problem to solve that will allow them to say yes to your offer. What is the problem? What format can you deliver the solution? Making any notes that you want to make. And in a moment, we're going to do the last stepping stone back to the very beginning, back to the place where the client is struggling. Okay, so getting ready to step back to the place where that client is at the very beginning before they have found their solution. So stepping onto that stepping stone now. Guys, noticing the struggle, how it feels, what kind of thoughts are they thinking? If you were watching a YouTube video of your potential customer or client struggling with this problem, what would you see? What would you hear? What are they saying about it? What are they typing into Google? Tapping into the energy of that struggling client. What is it that they really want to know? What's most important to them? And from the stepping stone of the place of struggle, Just turn around and look all the way up that path until the final end, to the stone where they have achieved all of their goals, their outcomes, they have the results, what they want, and they're looking so happy. Seeing the path that you are laying out for them, the offer, the results, all of the stepping stones. Feeling more and more excited about the offers that you are putting out there into the world, knowing that you can help so many people, and the time to do it is right now. So when you're ready, just opening up your eyes and make any notes that you want to make.
Нет, я
So we'll break into groups shortly, and you can discuss in smaller groups about your client journey and about your ideas for lead magnets. So ultimately, as I say, we're looking for something that solves one bite-sized problem, the best next step that a client needs to take in order to be ready for your offer. So do we have any questions or any comments? How did you find that exercise? I think an important point with doing this work too is it can be quite easy to think about what we want to tell people. But ultimately, the important thing is to actually step into the client's shoes. And like we talked about, putting the spinach into the banana smoothie. We want to think about what is it that they want to hear? What's the problem that they think is most important to solve first? Cool. All right, do we have any questions about lead magnets?
I'm just wondering, because I have a guide on my site that people download, but now I'm wondering whether that's actually of value in terms of addressing, a bite-sized issue, in that, do people really want to read, for example, about anxiety, as opposed to having something tangible that's going to reduce their anxiety once they do it?
Yeah.
What do you think? Because I mean, that's kind of the standard thing, isn't it, to have some kind of guide or A to Z that people download? But is that just too general, do you think?
So tell me a little bit about, like, what's your ideal client, and a bit more. So what's the title of the guide you say is about anxiety?
Yeah, it's about anxiety, yeah. Well, my ideal client really is I guess a client with a phobia of some sort, so afraid of something or other. So whether that's, public speaking anxiety or fear of spiders, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So when you say it's a guide for anxiety, give me a little bit more. Like, is it just anxiety in general, or?
Yeah. So it kind of, just explains what anxiety is. So it's a bit of psychoeducation, I suppose. But but I haven't looked at it for a while, which is another thing, I guess, which is not good. So I don't know. I can't remember if there's anything in there that actually, you know, they get to do other than just read, you know, about what anxiety is, and then of course call to action to contact me.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I guess the key with this really is it all comes down to the numbers. At the end of the day, with marketing, you know, it can be quite emotional, right? So I always pull something back and say, is this maths or is it drama? Okay, and so in this case, I say, well, let's look at the maths and just have a look. So if you have your website analytics, and you can see how many people are landing on the page where you're making the offer of your guide, how many people are actually downloading it, and then from those downloads, how many people are actually reaching out and booking a session, for example.
Yeah. Well, I guess the answer to the latter would be probably 0. I think there's quite a good, you know, number of people that download it, and then they go off in my 6 email schedule thingy bob that you talked about.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't recall, you know, over the last couple of years, anybody really saying, you know, when I asked them, you know, how did you find me? Oh, because I downloaded your guide to anxiety and it was brilliant. You know, nobody's ever said that. So, you know, it doesn't seem to be hitting the mark, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is where, again, that we're all just doing one big science experiment. So this can be where it can come in to try something else and just see what happens. At the end of the day, you don't have to just have one lead magnet. You know, you can have multiple. You can keep the guide. You can maybe add on from there. You know, you could do a little workshop which accompanies the guide if you wanted to, or maybe looking at the steps a client might need to take. Maybe if it's somebody who is having anxiety or, you know, the kind of panic attack style phobia reaction, maybe you want to do a little guide or mini course or something about, you know, 3 ways to calm down when you're in a panic attack or something like that, you know, something quite tangible that people can action. Have a play with that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Again, have a look at the analytics, because at the end of the day, that's what's going to tell, right? So when I'm saying this is a science experiment to just play around and see, yeah, have a look. You know, you've got the stats for the guide. Maybe you could add one or switch it out for a bit on, let's say, you know, a practical, you know, three ways to stop a panic attack in its tracks, for example.
Yeah.
And just see if the analytics change. Sometimes things happen as we don't expect, so it's good to play around and actually measure the statistics and see. Yeah. At the end of the day, with this program, with the lead magnet I'm wanting you guys to come up with, the goal is that you have something that you are super, super proud of, that you want to shout from the rooftops, hey, come get my thing. So if that's doing it for you, Tony, awesome. If it's not, let's have a play with something else and see if that brings the energy and excitement back for you.
Yeah. I like the idea of a mini course of some kind to, because I think that would be of more value than what's going on.
I love Claire's comment. Claire just put, sometimes I find that people don't wish to know how the car runs. They just want the car to run, but other people want to know, other people want the information. So sometimes combining both, which would be a mini course. I thought that was a nice analogy, what you put there in the comments. I thought that was quite cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And any free audio. I think this is a great opportunity to show people you can help them by actually helping them. So whether it's a free audio, whether it's a mindset trick, you know, whatever you can do so they can actually get a result, that is a good goal to aim for. Because especially, you know, there's a lot of us doing hypnotherapy here that, you know, people might not be unsure, oh, will this actually work for me? That's a question people often have. And our lead magnet is a really good opportunity to actually get some of those objections out of the way. Okay, that makes it easier to sell our offer because they've already done, say, self-hypnosis audio, or they've already played with your mindset tricks and got a result. So then instead of asking, will this work for me? Their question is, what's my next step? So we can use our lead magnet to overcome objections as well that way. Awesome. Cool. So yeah, hopefully that helps, Tony. And we'll break into the groups in a moment, and you guys can throw out ideas. Again, looking at who your ideal client is, what your offer is, and what's that best next step for them to be ready for your offer. We can throw out all sorts of ideas, all sorts of formats. And remember, like we just mentioned with Tony's idea with the anxiety, you can have the same topic and do it in multiple formats, right? We've talked about anxiety. You can do, as Claire suggested, you know, the information and a free audio. You can do it as a mini course. And remember, guys, a mini course can be as simple, if you don't have your tech all set up now, a mini course can be an email series. So you don't even need to have a course platform or anything like that. You can just literally program an automated email once a day for 5 days or whatever it is, with a link to a video that you've put on YouTube. Like, it can be really simple. Helen, if you do a hypnosis track, is it unethical to put a suggestion in there to make an appointment with you? That's a fun one. Marissa Peer actually says to do that. So I think, I don't know, that's a good question to chat on. I think it depends on how you say it, right?
I definitely wouldn't be putting it in the suggestions. Maybe you could say at the end, just note, and this is my number if you'd like to see me. I wouldn't put it during the intervention.
Right.
Imagine if that got out, that'd be so naughty. Maybe if you go onto the tracks, you can make subliminal tracks where you say book an appointment, book an appointment, book an appointment really quietly, to have it down so low that only the subconscious can hear.
Okay, I don't even know how to finish that. But I mean, yeah, at the end of the day, you do want to make an offer at your lead magnet, right? That's the point, is that you're getting them a result. And then because they have that result, they're going to want to know what the next step is. So you're doing them a service by putting that call to action in there, letting them know clearly what is the next step. Yeah, exactly. After you've woken them up, and then say, you've enjoyed this audio, the next step is to book a call with me. Cool. Any other lead magnet questions?
What is cheat list?
Oh, so for example, okay, some that I've downloaded recently is like a writing your book checklist. So a step-by-step. So maybe it is just making stuff up here. Maybe you've got a weight loss program and your freebie is about reducing sugar intake. So maybe you'll do them a checklist of things that they can do to get ready for the program. Like, get rid of all the biscuits. Research alternative sweeteners. Talk to your friends and family about what you're doing. Invite them to join you.
Number 5, just stop eating it.
Yeah. Right, I've just got a quick question for you guys here. I know that the majority of us are hypnotists, but we're not all hypnotists in the group. So I'm just interested. I know we've got some people offering services and physical products. So I just would be interested as well to see what kind of things we could offer as a freebie if you've got a physical product or a service. I know we've got a hairdresser in here. We've got an indie yarn dyer in here. We've got Claire with her wellness products as well. Maybe some other people have got other top things like, homeopathic products, that kind of thing. So for those of us as consumers of physical products, what kind of ideas do we have of the kinds of digital information or downloads we might be interested in signing up for in order to get on somebody's email list for somebody who offers a physical product? Any thoughts? How to use them? Yep, perfect.
Maybe tips on, if it was a hairdresser, how often to shampoo your hair, or healthy hair habits.
And people really like quizzes, doing the quizzes.
So
they do a quiz and then get a result from the quiz. So, oh, you could, a hairdresser, you could do the face shape. So you do a quiz on your different face shape, and then it comes up with what hairstyle would fit your face shape.
Yeah,
Maybe.
that's amazing.
Claire, you need to be doing this as a job. You can organise people's lead pages for them.
Yeah, I know. I actually like designing websites and stuff. So.
I agree. Thank you, Claire, for all your info yesterday. Could I just ask a question? Vicky, I know it's not products that I do, but being a physio as well, I was just thinking about a lot of education, you know, with the freebies. And I thought that would be, because people just get fed up with reading, you know, like, but if you've got a few little mini videos, I like that idea of sending one each week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And the key, I think, is to just, yes, they need the information, but also something that they can actually put into action, whatever that might be. So with your physio, what's the sort of thing that you might send the videos about?
Yeah, so I'm really interested in the nervous system.
Mm-hmm.
And I work already with breathing dysfunction. So that's my kind of thing, like similar to what we were talking about, anxiety. But I like the physiology of the body. So yeah, I was like thinking about talking around, you know, a few, like 3 hot topics.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thinking about the parasympathetic system and just going into a little bit of detail.
Yeah.
How it all connects, how the body connects, and how, you know, what is anxiety? How does it happen? What happens in the body? What happens in the mind, and connecting the mind and body? But I'm really interested in children. So I'd have to think about how I do see children already, but it's very, you know, like very short, sharp, simple terms.
Yeah. So with this, even though you're working with children, your ideal client is actually the parent, right? Because they're the one actually booking the session and paying for it. So maybe for a lead magnet from that point of view, it might be something to do with how to help your child when they're having breathing struggles, right? How to keep yourself calm. Maybe you want to put in there a couple of little videos that like sort of band-aids for a situation that they could watch with their kid. But do you guys agree, like as a parent, for myself, the hardest thing is watching your child go through this and not knowing what to do to help them? So that is like a real immediate problem that somebody would want to solve.
Massively, yeah. Yeah, that's a really good point, because you are actually educating the parents for sure and giving them tools. So that I like that. I really like that. That's got my mind spinning.
Okay, cool. Awesome. All right, team, do we have any other questions? Otherwise, let's get ready to break out into our groups. And again, the goal for the group is to, again, just talk about your ideal client, talk about your offer. And the goal really is to just start to throw out ideas of what that best next step will be that you could turn into your lead magnet. Yeah, that's a great suggestion from Claire there, guys.
Yeah, if you are needing to shoot off and you can't go into a breakout room, the rooms will still open up and try to send you to one. So that's when you just cut off if you can't make it there. I was just trying to make it so that you can not put people in, but it still kind of wants to do it. So if you can't make it into the breakout room, you just switch off there.
Awesome. And I just want to quickly mention quizzes as well. Because we did bring it up before, like for me, I find quizzes to be super, super fun. People love quizzes, and you can do quizzes about all sorts of topics, right? So we've talked about doing a quiz to see, you know, your face shape and what kind of hairstyle would go with it. You could do a quiz to find out what's your, I mean, gosh, all sorts of things. Like I've done, what's your money personality? You could do, what's your anxiety personality? All sorts of things, right? We could do it for anything. You want to do weight loss, you could do a quiz on which area is going to be the most effective for you to work on first. You know, food, is it portion size? Is it sleep? Is it stress levels? Is it alcohol? Is it coffee? Is it sugar? Is it exercise? All sorts of things, right? So they can start to get an area to work on. Yeah, so have a play. I think quizzes are really fun, and people do love quizzes too, so that's something to work on. But then of course with the idea that you not just give them a result, but you give them the education and the action steps according to their particular result. So that's something to play with as well. Yeah, there's heaps of different quiz softwares depending on what you're using. You can get WordPress plugins for quizzes. There's all sorts of other standalone programs as well that you can use for quizzes as well. Gabrielle's recommending Kahoot. What you want is something where you can, that's built for email marketing. So you can just do like a Google form, but with that, again, you've got the, you want something that actually gives them like a result page, and that automatically collects their email, and then according to the result that they get sent a particular, you know, welcome series of emails with their, you know, result recommendations on it. So there is quite a bit more functionality that's built into a specific quiz provider than just Google Forms, for example. So yeah, it's just something to play with and have a look. Free challenges can be quite cool as a list building thing as well. That's getting a bit beyond this lead magnet idea though, simply in that it's something that you have to manually physically do. It's not something that is automatically sent out all of the time. So that's kind of an additional thing that we might look at further on. For now, I just want something that people can actually download and get in their hot little hand. All right, any other questions? Otherwise, let's get ready and go into the groups.